Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
At their own 20-yard line.
So here are the Bengals set to take over. They were winners a week ago over the Bears, and they lead things here as well as they start this drive with a 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
1st down, Bengals.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Boyd.
Burrow's pass.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another 1st down.
Oh, that was a pretty route right there because it's all about finding a window on a route like that. He lined up on his left, ran the deep in route over the middle, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Really good trust between quarterback and receiver. Really good completion.
And another 1st down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 1st downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Mixon. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Joe Mixon, the ball carrier.
That's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On 2nd down, here's Burrow. Throwing right, and that's complete.
Burrow's pass.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
A 3-yard gain on
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now, Bengals on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Burrow will throw. And that is incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Hopkins' kick is good. 2 minutes remaining in this 1st half of football. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. Johnson now returning. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Johnson with a completion over the middle. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. This is Johnson. He's got it. 1st down now, but the clock continues to move.
Good for a Pittsburgh Steelers.
That one into the hands of, and they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Again, it's Roethlisberger. Ebron with it over the middle. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts. as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. To throw again is Roethlisberger. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Johnson. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Ben to throw again. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete.
Roethlisberger's pass complete.
Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half.
The 19-yard line.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder.
36-yard attempt.
And Boswell's kick is good. And that lead is back down to 9 now.
Makes the score Bengals 12.
So they are able to get points here before the halftime break.
Well, that's a plus. The downside, they've got some work to do if they want to get back into this game fully and have a chance to win it in the second half.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we come upon halftime with 9 points separating these two teams. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll get started out in Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Duke Johnson, 2 touchdown runs to lead the way. From there, we'll skip over to Louisiana.
And just like that, on we head to half number 2.
Chris
The
Boswell.
Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. Taken in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. On second down, here's Mixon. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Joe Mixon on the carry.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
He's got his man, Boyd. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 5 catches for him in that first half, and that's number 6 that we just saw, and also a first down.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a second and long.
57, Mike, 57. You can't block me. You can't block me. 57.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And that'll be incomplete. Burrows took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And that will will be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
On the return, Johnson. 39-yard punt, give him a good 10 yards on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at about the 32. They'll start the drive with Samuels. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
Now Ben going to give this one to Connor. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
That's good. We're up.
We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
James Conner, the ball carrier.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
Ben Roethlisberger.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger.
57. Mike.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain.
And I believe that gain on 3rd and long changes things quite a bit, because this would be a very long field goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it here.
They'll run for it with Connor. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. The Steelers try it, but they come up empty on 4th down. And the Bengals will get the football back. Even though they didn't get it, probably the right call. Too long for a field goal and just not a whole lot to gain from a punt there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have really netted very much yardage if you pumped the ball, right? And the thing about a field goal, and you know this from so much experience.
And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure it out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Burrow's pass.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Gain of 6.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Now Joe Burrow on 3rd and long on the crossing route, complete. That's Boyd. And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Here's a 1st down throw that's complete. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get...
And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Trying to get away, but could not.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
And the Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That'll put him over.